Background music starts, slightly tense and adventurous. Lin's shadow blade moved like a whisper, slicing clean through the crimson armor of the warrior lady. It was a perfect hit, a deep wound that should have ended the fight right there. But just as we were about to breathe, a sickly green light pulsed from the back lines. The lady in red, her armor knitting itself back together, was being healed. I looked over at Sinju. He was focused, his gaze locked on the source of that light, a cloaked healer standing behind their tank. "Amira, Jake, go!" Sinju commanded, his voice cutting through the chaos. This was it. This was the moment he'd been waiting for. Without a second of hesitation, Amira knocked her bow. Fwoosh, 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 fwoosh. 4 arrows flew, but that was just the start. She muttered an incantation, and suddenly, those 4 arrows began to spin, multiplying into a dizzying storm of sharpened wood and steel, all converging on the healer. But right in the middle of that deadly vortex was Jake, sprinting full tilt, completely unfazed. He weaved and ducked, the arrows whistling past his ears, missing him by millimeters. This was their plan. He wasn't dodging, he knew exactly where every single arrow would be. Meanwhile, Lin was having the time of his life. "Shadow walk," he'd yell before disappearing into one shadow and reappearing from another, his blade flashing. The fire-wielding lady couldn't keep up, swinging her fireballs at empty air as Lin toyed with her, his laughter echoing. That's when Sinju saw his opening. The healer was distracted, trying to track Jake through the arrow storm. In a blink, Sinju lunged forward. His hand clamped down on the healer's shoulder, and the world dissolved. They reappeared in a disorienting monochrome space. A vast gray and white room lined with every weapon, every rare item, every piece of loot you could imagine. "Welcome to my dragon space," Sinju said calmly. The healer was frozen, a statue in a world of artifacts. "Nothing moves in here unless I say so," he explained, a cold finality in his tone. He gave her a little 2-fingered salute. "Bye-bye." And just like that, he teleported away. When Sinju returned to the battlefield, the fight was over. The fire lady was down. Lin, Amira, and Jake were standing over her, their clothes scorched and tattered. They were all popping healing capsules, tossing them to each other like candy. "All right, let's go," Lin said, already looking for the next fight. But Sinju stopped them. He looked at Jake, who was dusting himself off. "Hey, Jake," Sinju asked, a curious glint in his eye. "What was that back there?" "In the arrow storm. It was like you were reading the future." Jake just shrugged, a small smile playing on his lips as he adjusted his glasses. "Oh, that, yeah. That's my ability."